Hi, I'm Carl Anderson of Cougar Gun Dogs. Cocker Spaniels. I want to get to the truth behind Cocker Spaniels every day through social media, phone calls, emails, just talking to people in general. We come up with the same concept every time. Cocker Spaniels are naughty. They run off, they chase things, they bark, they bite, they resource guard, everything. There's two sides to this coin. Let's go a little bit deeper. Cocker Spaniels at the minute, according to the Kennel Club, are the #1 gun dog. There's more people buying Cocker Spaniels than ever before. And why not? They're cute. Let's face it. Look at the little face on this one. He's cute. When they're a puppy, they're even cuter. So why have they got this reputation? They've got this reputation simply because that's what we want out of a Cocker Spaniel. It's naughty, so I want one. And it's not till you get one and they get about 8 months old to 12 months old, you realise these little things are out of control, and they're not out of control. Let's go back to the history a little bit, and bear with me while I get going on this. In about 1880, 1890 or thereabouts, if there's some historians out there, bear with me. These little dogs were bred for woodcock, so they would work the undergrowth, thick undergrowth, in wet conditions, chase woodcock, or not chase woodcock, that's wrong, they'd flush woodcock. A woodcock is a Scandinavian bird what migrates to Britain, and it sits tight in damp areas and feeds on a night time. So they would flush the bird and it would come up and it would jinx and it would be shot. Once it flushed the bird, the dog was bred to sit and then retrieve and bring it back to the handler, and then we would carry on. That's what they were bred for. Very, very successful. And that continued through the 1920s, the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s, and there was a following of Cocker Spaniels, probably a little bit different to this breed, maybe a little bit bigger, some were a little bit smaller, but they were the true original Cocker Spaniels. Now, when I was doing a lot of shooting in my early days, and you saw a Cocker Spaniel, I can never ever remember seeing a bad Cocker Spaniel. I just can't. They were all very, very well trained, and that's because they was in the hands of the gun dog people, either in field trials or on shoots. And I honestly can't remember, going back, I've had dogs for decades and decades and decades, I cannot remember a bad one. And then we got into the 80s, I still can't remember a bad one. The 90s, I still can't remember a bad one. The millennium, I still can't remember a bad one. There must have been bad out there, don't get me wrong, there must have been some right little terrors out there, but we didn't mix. But then again, at that stage, they weren't the #1 gun dog as a pet. We then came into about, I don't know, 2010, and there was a few more about good quality working dogs, and I was seeing more and more in picking up teams, 7, 8, and they were working really, really well, doing everything they wanted. I can never remember one chasing a hare on shoot day or anything. We then started to creep in and probably see a few more mischievous ones, and I'm going to use the word mischievous lightly here, about 2017. What happens was, we then got into COVID, and I think this is where things really, really went wrong, because everyone wanted a puppy. Everyone wanted a dog, and rightly so, because it helped us through a period in time. And this is only my opinion, so use keyboard warriors out there, your fingers are really going to be heating up, and have a tap at me, please do. But what happened was, we had an explosion of all dogs. And some of these little Cocker Spaniels were kind of bred to anything. I don't want to sound nasty there, but they were just bred for the sake of it, because dogs were fetching £4,000 and £5,000. And we kind of lost the way there with Cocker Spaniels. This is my real opinion. We kind of lost the way there with Cocker Spaniels. So let's just leave it there now, in just 1 second. Let's go back to where there was. In the field trial world, if you look at a field trial, at a novice field trial, these dogs are really, really good, and they're sitting to the whistle, they're sitting to flush, and there's not really a problem. When we go to an open field trial, all the dogs are to an extremely high standard, and they're an absolute pleasure to watch. It's like watching a football team. They really do work with the owners. Birds will flush, they'll sit to flush, they'll work. Absolutely an amazing thing. When you go up to the championships, They're absolutely amazing. It really is watching handlers work these dogs, and they're almost like top athletes. They're like artists. It's mind-blowing to watch it, and that is with all other dogs. So we know the problem with Cocker Spaniels isn't in the field trialling world. It's just not, because the dogs what don't make it in the competition world, they then come back down and they make it in the working world. So they make exceptionally good gun dogs. And let's just say one's gun shy, it makes an exceptionally fabulous, outstanding pet. You sit. Outstanding pet. So we know the problem's not there. Let's look at the working dog on a shoot. I would say 90% of them are really good. They're in the beating line, the flushing game, the picking up game, the sitting to shot, they're working really well. You're always going to get the rogue one. In everything in life, you're always going to get, they're what I call life's true characters. We then come into the pet side of things, and this is really where the problems go wrong. And maybe it's a case of because people get things wrong, and you'll look at a celebrity. There's some real big high celebrities out there. David Beckham has Cocker Spaniels. Gordon Ramsay has Cocker Spaniels. Kate Middleton and Prince William have Cocker Spaniels, and they're really well trained, and rightly so. But you're going to turn and say they've got a dog trainer. They probably have got a dog trainer, but when that dog comes back to them, they've got to carry up the hard work and put it in, no matter how busy their lifestyles are. And credit to these celebrities, they've done a real good job from what I see. But I only see one side of it. They might be running around the house like lunatics for all I know. But we don't see that, and they look really good. You little man, aren't you? So I hear people turn around and say, don't get a Cocker Spaniel, get a Springer Spaniel, get a Labrador. Then you turn around and people will say they're crazy, the devils. It's just, I'm going to have a good old rant here. That's what I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this. What happens is, why wouldn't we get a Cocker Spaniel? Give me one good reason, someone, why we wouldn't get a Cocker Spaniel for a pet. Because they make absolutely brilliant pets. They make great working dogs, and they make fabulous field trialling dogs. But we get it wrong, because we run out there, we look at an advert, I'm off for a Cocker Spaniel, bang, and we go out there and we don't do a homework, and we see this time and time again. Where did he get it from? Oh, we got it from so-and-so. Has he got any papers? No. Did he see its parents? No. So you don't know any history of that dog. Was it socialised? Don't know. If you go to someone who's high up in the trialling world and high up in the gun dog world, and you get a puppy, you know that's a true bred Cocker Spaniel, and you've got generations of pedigree going back, looking at it, and then they've bred that for a reason. They're keeping that on the working lines, the proper working lines. And if that breeder has had plenty of litters, you more or less know what you're going to get. And sit. You more or less know what you're going to get, because they've done years of decades of breeding with that particular dog. Now, I'm not saying don't go out and buy one from anywhere. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just building up to what I've got. So you've got this little puppy. If you've done your homework, Chip, sit. If you've done your homework and you've gone to a breeder, and there's some really good people out there. So we're kind of identifying the problem now. The problem is now, when we get up into the field trialling world and the competition world, the Cocker Spaniels are to a very good standard, well behaved, and we don't get too many problems. Now the trialling world say, well, we do this, they do that, but we're on a higher game. And yes, they might squeak a little bit, which the judge will put them out of the competition. They might run in a little bit, but we're at a lot higher game, and we don't get none of this naughtiness we get from the pet world. In the field, if we've trained them right, and people do, they put lots of time in, and they're out every day training, every weekend training, that's great. And then they get to the field with a dog after 2 years of training, and they've got a great dog to take them through the shooting career. When we come down and we ask one of these to be pets, this is where the problem comes. And we've got resource guarding, we've got whining, we've got barking, we've got biting, we've got chasing, we've got on deaf ears. They don't listen. So we've identified the problem. They make brilliant pets. I mean, look at this little lad here. He's a working dog. He's very, very well bred, and all he's really going to do is going to want to put his paw on me and have a cuddle. But he's really well bred. His owner's done the work for him, got the breeding right. His brother's the same. The rest of the litter are the same. So we know the generations of breeding, the lines of gun dogs or the lines of Cocker Spaniel absolutely work. Now, if we, and they're not all bad pets, by the way, I should say that. It's putting the time in at the right time. So let's look where it goes wrong. You get a puppy home, and to a certain degree, this is any puppy, but we're talking about Cocker Spaniels, and you invite everybody round. So everybody comes round and they pick this dog up, and it's cuter than cute. You take it to a pub and everyone wants to stroke it. Every time someone sees it, it wants to stroke it. So little puppy, little Cocker Spaniel says, right, okay, they want me to jump up. Point taken. Yeah, so it jumps up everybody. So we've created a problem number one. Then we go out and we buy all these toys, and believe me, there's more toys being bought than bloody Father Christmas can have in his sleigh. So they're all over the place. So he picks up his favourite ball and his deer antler and this and that and the other, and then before you know it, he's got the slipper, the mobile phone. Loads of mobile phones will go. James in there, when he was a puppy, used to eat mine and crack the screens all the time. Then the remote control goes. It's not fun anymore. And then we chase them around and we try to get it off them, and they're not going to stop. They're going to run all over the place. So what we've done, we've identified the problem. And the problem is not the dog, it's how we treat the dog from a puppy. Now, we'll talk about, or I'll waffle on a little bit about rehoming a dog in a bit, but I'm just on about a puppy. Now let's turn it round, and we bring the puppy home and we say to everyone, you're not going to visit, we're going to have this little puppy settled. And you bring it home and you put it in a crate, if you want a crate train, or you put it on a bed, but ideally I would say a crate is best. You put a deer antler in there so it can chew on its teeth, and you let it out every hour to an hour and a half. Yeah. When you go to bed, if it whines, let it whine. Just let it whine. If you don't get any sleep, you should have really bought one on a Friday for the weekend or took some time off work. So the next day you take it out, you keep all your friends away, and it'll follow you. If you've got it from the right breed, and I've said this so many times, that dog will follow you without a lead. Now, I like to put a slip lead on a dog and just pull that up like that. Even on a young puppy, just get a real light one, and it'll just tow that lead around gently. That's all it'll do. It'll just feel the weight on it. Some people don't like it. We do it here and we get massive results from it. Keep the toys to a minimum, keep the kids under control, sit down, roll a ball, and what will happen is that dog will start following you everywhere, and you'll eliminate a lot of the problems you're gonna get later on. Basically, people are creating their own problems. Again, with resource guarding, what happens is it's got all these toys, it's picked a toy up, it's gone on the settee or wherever it's gone, you try and get it off and it runs away. So it's created by a game, and it's fun to start with. You know, anyone who's got a Cocker Spaniel out there who's resource guarding, tell me I'm wrong that it didn't start as a fun game. Yeah, this is fun, this is fun. Then it gets serious because it starts growling, it starts nipping, and then we've got a little bit of a problem. And these things they can turn vicious, they can bite, and that's a serious warning. Yeah, just remember, in the field trial world and in the gun dog world for shooting, this didn't happen because they trained them just that little bit different, and they took control and they followed them around it, and they did it in these small little stages. They still had fun along the way. They love the dogs, they're passionate about the dogs. You'll see some guys on the shoot, they're cradling the spaniels like little babies, but however they've got that control when they need to be. So we've created the problem, the handlers created the problem. And then what happens is they get to 8 months to 10 month old, and it's find a trainer. And then the work really starts for us behind the scene. What we've got to do to these dogs to get them back on track. Some we get back on track. Most we'll work with, and they'll work for us really good here. And then what happens is when they go home, they go back into the same environment they come from. The toys are out, we'll put a halter on it, we'll put a harness on it, we'll do whatever. So we kind of really go wrong here. So what we've done, we'll just put Chip away, and we've brought another Cocker Spaniel out, and you'll see the same, exactly the same. He'll sit here, and all he'll really want is just want a fuss. So he'll just calm down, have a little fuss. But this little man, he resource guards, and it's come a bit of a problem. But it's nothing we can't sort out. But it just takes a bit of time. So I'm just having me big old rant here today. I'm in a mood for a rant. And basically, don't go out there with an open mind. People go on YouTube and people go on every things of social media, and we're no different. We're just another channel out there. And don't get a Cocker Spaniel, do get a Cocker Spaniel, do this with a Cocker Spaniel, do that with a Cocker Spaniel. It's absolutely mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing, and then you go on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. I think we've just got to cut this back to common sense. If you want a Cocker Spaniel, buy one. If you want to train a Cocker Spaniel for trialing world, do it. If you want to train it for shooting world, do it. If you want to train it for a pet world, do it. And knock half the crap out there, and just have an end result what you want the dog for, and you will get there. And just be mindful along the way. These are not children. These are not children. They are not a member of the family. They are not your grandchildren. They are dogs. And dogs need leadership. Now look at this. He's going to cuddle into me, and then paws are going to come up, and this is called character. This is called character, and the more I fuss him up, the more he's going to come up to me. And I'm not going to push him down, because we've got this great bond, and he absolutely loves it. And this is all people want. So I'm going to put him down, sit, and he's going to sit, but he's going to feel better because he really, really loves it. He's happy, but he's not pulling off there. He's not barking at Karen. He's not doing anything wrong. We're just sat here on a summer's evening, enjoying herself, having this big rant about Cocker Spaniels. So if you want one, get one. Do what you want. If you want it for a pet, make brilliant pets. If you want it for a working dog, brilliant. If you want it for any type of dog, search dog, they'll do anything if we put the right training in. I mean, look, the only thing he's doing wrong is come up for a cuddle, aren't you? Hey, sit. Sit. And the more I fuss him, the more he'll want, and rightly so, because he's such a cute little thing. So I've identified the problem. Unfortunately, the problem is the handler, and we've got to take responsibility for that. The problem's not the dog. They are not demons. They are not naughty Cocker Spaniels. They're not horrible Cocker Spaniels. They're not. They're just Cocker Spaniels. They're a breed of a dog. God forbid if the Patterdale ever gets to be the #1 dog in Britain, you are then going to see some choice videos, and you are going to see some very, very naughty dogs. But no one says Patterdales are naughty, because that's the character. That's just what they do. They're vicious little buggers. They chase rats, they chase cats, they do everything, but everyone just accepts it. So we've kind of identified the problem now with a Cocker Spaniel, and it's not for me to say what to do and what not to do. We just train gun dogs, and we do it our way, and we have these little angels in all the time and train them. But if you've got a problem with your spaniel, so you've watched this video and you say, right, okay, yeah, admittedly I've got to take it. We've put too many toys down. We've put different leads on. We've let everyone jump up. We've chased him round the house or her around the house and everything. You've identified the problem. It chases birds and one thing and another. What do you do about it? Well, you go and seek advice to someone who can work with spaniels. It's as simple as that. It's no good treat training these things. It does not work. It will not work. You are the treat. The tennis ball's a treat. You need to get them onto that. They're working dogs and they've got a mind. And the only way we're going to get them tired is getting into this brain. If I run him 10 miles a day, he'd want 15. If I run 15, he'd want 20. And all I'm doing is I'm putting more exercise into him. I need to keep him in and around me, as with all spaniels. These are not just cockers, these are all spaniels. So you Springer folk out there, just remember that. They'll need to be in your circle. And they've got to want to come back to you. And when you're recalling them, and they won't come back, there's got to be something in it for them, not you know, get you on a lead, you naughty dog, you're a very naughty Cocker Spaniel, all Cocker Spaniels are horrible, because that's what they come back to. You know, give them a fuss, put them on the lead, and off we go. So I'm just wandering off there, so let me get back to me rant. Karen sat behind the camera here, she's laughing her head off, and she said, oh God, he's off on one, you know. But I'm not. All it is, I see every day, I get emails every day, and it's the same thing. And when we meet the dogs, it's generally the same thing. And it's like anything. If you don't know what you're doing, kind of keep away from it. I once had this wonderful idea, and this is a great example. My old Land Rover wanted his cam belt changing, so I went on YouTube. And it was easy. This bloke did it in an hour. I thought it was absolutely amazing. God. So there you are. Keyboard warrior here. I'm off. And sit. Keyboard warrior here. I ordered the parts. Yep. Got all these parts. And all these parts come next day off Amazon, because that's how quick we can do things. Bonnet up. Anyway, an hour went by, several hours went by, the day went by, and all I was covered in oil. But the good thing was I had all these bits. I had loads and loads of bits. So the next day I resumed, and you've got to remember, by now I've got all my customers I'm putting on hold because my Land Rover's done and my world's, you know, getting a little bit stressful. Day 2, I had more bits, but don't worry about it, job's still not finished. Day 3, Karen said ring the garage. I said don't be silly, I've been on YouTube. I was on YouTube again, you see. Oh God, this bloke now can do it. He said he's a bit more serious, he said it takes half a day. So I thought, with me being an amateur, okay, we'll have it done today. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I had boxes full of bits. And this is day 3.5 now. So I rung the local garage and I spoke to him and I explained what he'd done, and he was very, very nice about it. He come along with his pickup, he recovered the vehicle, and he went away with all these parts, laughing, chuntering and one thing and another, and he brought it back the next day, all done. And it runs lovely and brilliant. So the moral of the story is I didn't know what I was doing, so I went to an expert who did know what he was doing. And that's really what we're up with. With your Spaniels, your Cocker Spaniels, if you've got a problem, go to someone who can fix them. Look at the track record, look at their dogs. There's some really fabulous top-end people out there around the country. Have a look at some of the field trial trainers. I'm not just saying, we train loads of these, but we can't take in every Cocker Spaniel in Great Britain. We just can't do it. We're very, very busy with what we do, but look at some of the top trainers, look what they've got to offer. Some of these guys, when they work them dogs, it really is, it's like someone playing a top violin. They're so smooth at it. They really are at the top of the game. But they'll probably say we need some kind of foundation, some kind of basic foundation, and before they can take it on. We take in a lot of problem dogs. Predominantly, I would say mainly Spaniels and HPRs. A lot of problem dogs. What their owners are at their end of the tether. But it takes a long time to work with these dogs. You can't drop them off on a Friday, pick them up on a Monday and it's done. It just doesn't work. They're in for, some of these dogs can be in for a long time, some will not come in for residential, and the owners have to do the work with our guidance on a one-to-one system. But we generally get there at the end of the day and put them as right as we can. But if you think you're going to drop one off on a Friday and pick it up on a Monday, it's not going to happen. If you think you're going to pick one up and all of a sudden it's like my Land Rover, it was fixed and it'll go for another, I don't know, 20,000 miles before I've got to change it, it's not going to happen. It's work when you get back. We're just going to go back to them celebrities, you know, Gordon Ramsay, Prince William and Kate Middleton, and the Beckhams. These people are extremely busy, a lot busier than I'll ever be, but what they're doing, they've probably got some help from someone, and if they haven't, credit to them, massive credit to them, but they probably have, they've got some help and they've created this dog. But now they'll constantly be training that dog and bringing that little spaniel into their lifestyle, how they want it to be. They had a vision, what they wanted, you know, just to go out for a lavish walk in the countryside or take them in the car with them. I don't know their aim with them, but it's hard work, it's ongoing work, and you've got these dogs till they're 12, 14 years old. So there's no point in rushing them, there's no point in falling out with them. You've got them, you've took them on a lifelong journey. and they're going to become part of your family. And all you ever want out of them is either to take them in the trialling world, and to take them in the shooting world. We're not on about that. These lads do a great job. All you want to do is take these dogs for a walk, get them off the lead, because no dog's designed to be on a lead. There was never bred to be on a lead. The only reason these dogs are on a lead is because we bring them into our busy lifestyle. And it is a busy, busy world out there, and we must have a dog on a lead, we must have a collar on it, we must have it microchipped. It's a must world. You know, there's campaigners now what are saying they don't want dogs off the lead in the countryside. Maybe that'll come in a few years' time. I don't know. But we're following someone else's guideline. There was never meant to be on a lead. And we've created, the handler, the owner, we've created this problem. And it's always someone else's problem. When I go on some of the trials, the open trials, and I look at it and I speak to some of the handlers afterwards, this is one complaint I get and it sticks in my mind. See, all he wants is a fuss. Sit, sit. This sticks in my mind when I speak to them, and let's just say they've had a really good run and you know, they've got nearly to the winning and they're out. Ground's crap. Not enough game. Cover's not heavy enough. Judge, I don't like him. Didn't like the steward. It's everybody's fault. Everybody's fault. But it's not everybody's fault, it's the handler. The handler didn't handle the dog on the day. It's as simple as that. You know, you've got to, that's the environment you live in. You've got to train your dog to the environment you're in. And it's as simple as that. You've got to have a vision. If you do not understand it, and you've gone out this weekend and you've bought a Cocker Spaniel puppy, go to someone who understands Cocker Spaniels. You do not want to go to a puppy group and let these things run around madly. It is madness. They need to go to a puppy group and socialise and learn to switch off from other dogs and concentrate on the handler. That's what you need to do. And the quicker you do that, the better it is. To buy two from the same litter is going to be challenging, not mad by any standards like some people say. It's just going to be a little bit more challenging and you've got a little bit more work. But you soon buy one, buy two. I know people who have bought one, they've had a great little dog and it's gone well, and then they've bought another one, and the person I'm talking about is going to be laughing and he's going to be calling me some bad names. And then he bought another one. My God, what a little demon. However, we're a period of time on, and his two dogs now are absolutely excellent, and he's going to enjoy his time. But it's just the way it goes. So I'm ranting on and on and on about this. And use keyboard warriors out there. Honestly, get your fingers smoking on this one. Just get them smoking and tell me I'm wrong and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's down to what we handle. I mean, look at this little dog here. You know, if I get another one out, he's just going to do exactly the same, because we took control. He's interested in me and I'm interested in him, and he's just watching the world pass, and we're enjoying the evening. So it can be done. It's a lot of hard work, and just do your own thing. Stop listening to everything you hear about Cocker Spaniels, because what's going to happen next week, someone's going to put a post out there with horns coming out of his ears, and the Cocker Spaniel will be the new devil. That's what will happen. You know, and we'll all go and believe it, won't we? You know, you imagine little Maxie with two great horns coming out of his ears. You know, it's just not going to happen. What you've got to be is realistic about the traits of a Cocker Spaniel. We know the traits of a Cocker Spaniel. You know, they jump up because they love fuss, and most times that's not really a problem, as long as they don't jump up anyone and we can control it. Sit. As long as they don't jump up everyone and we can control it. Sit. So he's gone into play mode now, and I'm gonna stop him. I'm gonna switch him off. We know they whine, and in the working world, the whine is a big problem. So you kind of step it out before you start. If you take your dog out and it's whining at the door, you've really just got to calm it down before you go in. But this is not a training session, this is my rant. So we know the whine and we know the resource guards and get very, very possessive about things. But all these problems can be sorted out. They also chase other things, but all these problems can be sorted out, and we need to stop them before it becomes a problem. Once we've made it become a problem, it's like the jumping up. These dogs, they're absolutely convinced everyone comes to see them. And it's not just cockers, is it? It can be Labradors, it can be Springers, it can be any dog. You know, Pointers, the HBR family, any of them. All the Spaniels. But Cocker Spaniels, they're infectious. They put one paw on you, two paws on you, and they're round your neck. That's just what they're known for. So we've identified the problems. If we just eradicate the problems as we go along and think about it, or take some advice without just going on to another channel. Well, this channel said that channel said that, this channel said that, and before you know it, you've confused yourself. You need to make up your own mind, take your own responsibility. There's some really, really good information out there, and I'm not saying come to our channel. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is do your own homework, lead your own way. It's as simple as that. If you're going to a trainer and you like the trainer and you're getting good results, brilliant. You might not want to go to a trainer, you might want to do it all yourself. It's entirely your decision. But you need to identify the problem, and in every case of dogs, or nearly every case, it is the way the dog's being handled. Whether it's being handled too soft, too hard, or whatever else, it is always down to the handler. And then the problems come. I mean, look now, he's just laid down, he's just chilled out. It's as simple as that, and we can sit here all night, get another one out. He might jump up in a minute, and we'll just put him back down. And that is all people want. So we've identified the problem. We know what Cocker Spaniels are like. We know what the breeding's like. We know where to get one from. So just sit. So just go out, do your homework, buy one, and just enjoy it, because you've got it for a long time, and it will be the best friend in the world. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend a summer's evening with a little handsome chap like this? Is it any better? It's just not. But we're going to put this one away, and we're going to take a load more out and enjoy our evening. I hope you've got something out of this. I know it's been a bit of a rant. It's just one of them things. But I get hit with questions all the time, and it's all down to do with these little Cocker Spaniels. At the minute, according to the Kennel Club, they're the biggest selling gun dog, and they've gained the reputation of being a little bugger, a little devil, and one thing and another. And I really think people get off on that. I think people like that. I think they like the characters of them. And what happens is, then it goes a little bit too far. Then we've got a problem, and then they need sorting out. It's just as simple as that. Look, he's pushing his boundaries again. He wants to come up. He wants his belly rubbed, don't you? Hey, hey. And this is the problem. People get this. Oh, it's the baby, isn't it? Oh, his grandchild. He's not. He's a bloody dog. Sit down. Sit. Sit. And then off he goes. And he wants to wants to be in with me. Sit. Sit. He wants to be in with us, doesn't he? He wants to react. And the more I cuddle him and treat him like a child, the more he's gonna play up and go into this silly little mode. Sit. Sit him on a whistle, and he sits there solid. So let's just round it up. It's your dog. Go out, enjoy it. We're just you know, giving you our experience out there. Go out, find a nice Cocker Spaniel, or if you've got one, pick up the training in the morning. Go and enjoy it. Identify the problem, which we have done, and enjoy. So on that note, thanks for watching. If you like the channel, subscribe, send us a like, send in some comments. I do like to read the comments, and we answer all the comments. Yeah, have a good evening.